Becky Adlington, an Olympic swimmer. The Lets have invited me down to talk about being a teen and how I found growing up. Hopefully I make things a little less confusing by sharing how I felt. Find out more at becomingateen.co.uk. At school, I was kind of like, should I tell my school friends that I've started my period? Because no one else has, and it was just kind of one of those things through school that I was a little bit more embarrassed about. I shot up in height, I shot up in weight, my boobs came in at 10 and everything, and everyone else was just kind of still tiny and still growing, whereas I was just like, had double D boobs. I was like, what's going on? And I just felt very aware of that at school. And I think because I was part of sport as well, all the lads used to just think, oh, there's Becky the tomboy because she likes sport. And I'm like, no, I'm really girly and I like doing all of that. But I was just very aware that I was a little bit different, that I don't know, I didn't kind of have the same thing as everyone else. They could spend an hour getting ready in the morning, whereas I used to go to school with wet hair and no makeup on. And then the fact that I was bigger, then the fact that I had started my period, spots came, everything started at such a young age, had a brace at 11, so I just felt like, oh, I feel about 5 years older than everyone else. I was exhausted by the end of the day. I did turn to my mum and say, like, Mum, I think it's time that I invested in some proper underwear, because I just used to wear them like kind of sport tops, like them vest things, and for me it was a case of I need a little bit more help here, especially in sport as well. I needed sports bras for when I went in the gym. That was also something that I was aware of through sport, and in PE that you were just a bit self-conscious if you were just in this little vest, that you were like, no, I need a bit more help in hand here. So I did go to my mum, and obviously we went shopping together and helped each other out and kind of pick one out and everything. But it was nice as well that my sisters, they could pass theirs on to me and they could give me advice on, oh no, I prefer this one, and no, I prefer this padded one and this. So it was always nice, the fact that they could share in that way. It was just nice to have that, because at school it was a case of, is anyone else in a bra? You kind of a bit looking around and trying to speak to people, and then in the changing rooms for PE you're trying to like scope out or hide in yourself, and you just feel, I used to always go and get changed in the toilets at school because I just used to be a bit embarrassed, and it was just a case of I didn't need to feel that way, I just did. Yeah, no, I definitely did the shaving legs behind my mum's back. It was just like, obviously I shared a bathroom with my sisters, that I was just kind of like, I used to always steal their shampoos, their conditioners, everything. I just used to be like, ooh, what's this? And it just like trying it out with the razor. So for me it was always a case of, in swimming we always had to shave our legs. That was kind of for competition purposes, for performance, just used to help it nice and smooth. But for pubic hair and armpits, that was a bit more kind of appearance, hygiene. That was something you're a bit more self-conscious about and that you're a bit kind of aware of. Whereas I didn't mind having stubbly legs at any other time, and especially all the girls, we used to go into the toilet before we used to go training just to check, and everyone just used to have a razor in their swim bag, which might seem weird to other people, but for the girls we were just kind of like, oh, we didn't want to be embarrassed about everything, and we wanted to feel confident walking onto poolside in this costume, and we wanted to kind of feel comfortable. I'm lucky I'm blonde, but some of my friends weren't so lucky, that even one or two hairs, they used to run to the toilet or hide it, or you just used to walk on poolside with your kickboard in front of you trying to hide. I was always a sweaty person, I still am. So that was always something for me that I was definitely aware of. I just used to go through so much deodorant. I used to stick tissues under my armpits at school just so I wouldn't get sweat patches and things. And spots for me was the biggest thing, the thing that I was most self-conscious about, especially at school. It was just kind of, because I developed a lot earlier, I noticed I was getting spots, and I was kind of like, well, hold on, I'm eating well, I'm drinking well, I exercise, why am I getting spots? I kind of didn't understand at that age as well, and I tried everything going, spot creams, toothpaste, whatever it was. I used to go to bed with all these creams on my face, and it was just anything. And luckily at school you can go into the toilet and use a bit of concealer, but in swimming you were just so open because, well, makeup just washes off. So swimming was a bit more kind of, you felt a bit more vulnerable and you used to hide away. I remember you just used to walking in like this if I had a spot, or talking to somebody like this because I just used to have a spot on my cheek. I'd do anything to cover it up. I'd even stay in the change rooms an extra 5 minutes so I could walk on poolside last minute and just jump in, so no one had to see I had a spot and things, just because I was so embarrassed about it. And it was just one of those things that I just didn't understand. But as I got a bit older and my rest of my friends started going through the same things I was, I felt a little bit better. I was a bit like, oh thank God I'm not the only one. I didn't kind of understand at such a young age, but I think as I got older I kind of learned how to deal with it and learned how to kind of look after my skin. I had a brace really young as well. I was like 11, 12 when I got my brace fitted. So again, earlier than everyone else. So I was kind of going through puberty, going through my periods, having spots, as well as having a brace. I was like, come on, just give me a break. But I had to have a brace. I also had to have a brace because my bike was wrong. So I had to have one of those plastic blocks, and then I had to have train tracks. So mine were on a really long time compared to all my other friends that just had train tracks on for kind of a year and a half, whereas I had 2 braces that lasted about 3 years. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't wait to take them off. So it was just everything going through it as well. And some of my friends didn't need to have braces, and you just kind of like, just want a break here, come on. And it's just, to be fair, the end result with the brace is that you take your brace off and you've got these nice straight teeth that I absolutely loved. So it was definitely worth it. The biggest thing for me was my weight. It was just kind of like, as soon as I started periods and everything, my weight just kind of shot up. It was just kind of a bit all over the place, and I grew so much in height. So when I was younger, kind of getting up to that, because I was growing in height, everything was just nice and spread out, and I just was never seen as one of the bigger girls. And then with my period starting and everything else going on, I just kind of still had the baby weight. My mum always used to say, it's just puppy weight, you'll lose that. And I'm like, I'm 14, I'm still waiting, this isn't puppy weight. And I used to say, I always wanted my belly button pierced, always. That was always one of my things. And I always said, right, I'm going to do it when I lose weight. And I still haven't got my belly button pierced. So it was just, I was always one of the bigger girls, and my boobs came in early. I was a bit chunkier than all the other girls, and yet I was doing so much sport. But it was just my body adapting to all the changes and everything else going on that I didn't understand. And then as soon as I started doing the proper work with swimming, my boobs now disappeared, and then now I'm like wishing I still had them. Nowadays it's so different to when 15 years ago when I was going through it, and fashion now has changed so much, and it's all about being unique and owning who you are, and it kind of wasn't that available. It was just kind of right, this is the trend, this is what it is. Like in the 90s, that was it, and it was like, if you can't fit into that trend, then you do feel abnormal, you do feel very self-conscious that, oh, I want to wear that because that's really trendy, yet I don't fit into it. Yet now it's so expressive with fashion, there's so much there, that there's so many different trends going on that you can just set your own trend, and it's just so cool to be able to do that. And I think there's so much out there nowadays, and so many things to help as well, so many amazing flattering clothes, and so many different things for all shapes and sizes.